Good day. I guess I've started to say good morning because it's morning for me, but it might not be morning when you're watching this. Good day. Greetings, Flosstube. My name is Heather. My pronouns are she, her. This is the 20-Minute Stitcher. This is Flosstube episode number 22. I apologize for my wet hair. I had a Pilates class this morning and my afternoon is booked. And so I was like, well, I guess right after my shower is going to be my best chance to film today. And I was just too lazy to blow dry my hair. So I come as I am, and I hope you accept me as I am. I hope all of you have had a wonderful week. I want to say a very warm welcome to my new subscribers. I've seen a few notifications come in this week of a few new subscribers. So welcome. If you are new to my channel, my format is essentially 20-minute videos. I am the 20-minute stitcher because most of the year, the best time I have to stitch is the 20 minutes between when my daughter gets on the bus to go to school and when my son gets up to get ready for school. I am a single parent who is responsible for carting her children all over God's creation for their activities and school events and all of those things. And so the morning tends to be my best stitching time. Sorry, I apologize. I keep messing with my hair. Apparently when it's wet, it falls in my face. All right, regroup. Here we go. So life update really briefly. This was an incredibly busy week. This will be probably a fairly short video. I have very little stitching to show. Most days this week I didn't stitch at all. Work was incredibly busy. It was the second week of band camp for my daughter. So I was carting her back and forth to school. I thought I was volunteering for one thing to help the marching band. Turns out I volunteered for something much bigger, so I was also spending a lot of time assisting with the uniforms and things of that sort. It was a little bit of a shock when I realized it was more than I had signed up for than I thought. But I'm actually enjoying it. It's giving me a chance to get to know the kids a little bit better. Is it okay to call high schoolers kids? Of course it is. The kids a little bit better, which is kind of fun. My daughter seems to like that I'm there. She seems to be one of those kids that likes me involved as opposed to like, oh my God, Mom, why are you here? So all of those things meant that by the time I got home in the evenings and we got dinner and kind of got settled, I was pretty lazy. I was exhausted. I didn't want to have to think or count or anything. So very, very little stitching happened this week. Band camp's done now. She has just kind of regular practices a couple days a week. School starts in a couple of weeks, so we're doing our best to kind of keep these next 2 weeks pretty low key and pretty relaxed. My daughter has summer schoolwork, summer reading, and summer math that she has to finish up before the school starts. My son has one more week of day camp. Otherwise, they'll be with their father for this coming week. So I'm actually hoping to get a lot of stitching done this coming week because he'll be the one responsible for getting them to all of their stuff, and I get a week off. So I will miss them like crazy, but it will be nice to have some breathing room and a bit of a break. So hopefully I'll get a lot of stitching done this coming week, and we'll have much more to show in my next video. I also want to give a big thank you to those of you who offered your recommendations and suggestions on my last video to my question about a journal for the cross stitch that I don't want to frame or flat fold or otherwise finish for display, but want to be able to sort of have in something nice. I know I also owe an apology. I have not responded to a single comment on my last video yet, and for that I am so sorry. Again, the week I didn't have the energy, but I will. You know, I always respond to every comment I receive, so I will be responding. But I did want to, on this video, give a shout out to those of you who did offer suggestions or recommendations, either of different solutions for journaling or people you know who make journals. Especially appreciate the recommendation for bendy stitches. Actually, ironically, her most recent video where she was showing her journals is what really inspired me. But she didn't include in her description where she gets her journals from. I should have just messaged her and asked. But I wanted to ask all of you because maybe there are other things out there. So thank you for those comments. Thank you for the votes on my firework kisses. All of those things. All right, enough talking. I'm 5 minutes in and haven't shown any stitching. So not that I have that much to show, but let's show the stitching. My plan for today, I don't have any finishes. I don't have any new starts. Can you believe it? No new starts. So no finishes, no new starts. I only worked on 2 patterns this week, or 2 projects, so I will show those. I have a tiny little bit of haul, a really fun thing to share that my dad made for me, a preview of a giveaway that I plan to do in the future, and then I'll share with you my August plans. All right, so let's get into it. So I said in my last video, since my last video was recorded on July 25th, which was officially Christmas in July, I had finished my Lizzie Kate Christmas Is, which had been my Jolly July focus piece. And I said I was going to start that day Little House Needleworks Jingle All the Way, which I did. I didn't get a whole lot done on it, but I will show you what I did get done. I am stitching this on, I don't even know what I'm stitching this on. It is on a piece of fabric that I bought. I did not write this in my notebook where I keep track of what I'm okay, I have to do that. I have a spiral bound notebook where I keep track of all those sorts of things, right? Floss substitutions, fabric, things of that sort. But this is a fabric that I bought from my LNS. So this is all I've done so far on this. This was just the one day on July 25th of stitching. So this is the little like tree. I guess it's a tree. Maybe it's a power line. I don't know. I think it's a tree, but it's just, wintry. So it's this one here. I'm starting in the lower left. They do kind of look like the old time power lines, don't they? I think they're pretty sure they're wintry trees, actually. They can be whatever you want them to be. How about that? So that is as far as I got before I had to go to bed. So that is Jingle All the Way. And then why do I have floss on the outside of my project bag? Silly me. Okay. And then I know also in my last video I had said that my focus piece for the week was going to be my Cunning Cross Stitch Magic Kingdom Stitch Along. Started to say sing along and stitch along at the same time. It came out sting. That's not right. The Magic Kingdom Stitch Along, which was a 2021, I believe, year-long stitch along from Cunning Cross Stitch, who just has a website out there on the interwebs. And I know that I had said my goal was to finish the Alice in Wonderland, which was the February pattern. I did not finish it. I'm sure you are shocked when I told you that I didn't really stitch it all this week. I actually last night put on Alice in Wonderland on Disney Plus and stitched. So I stitched for about an hour and 30 minutes because that's about as long as the movie is. I need to be better about taking before pictures and after pictures, but previously I had this chair done and I had like this little, you can barely see it on the camera, this little very pale yellow lantern done, and that was it. So I actually got some good work on this. I got these 2 lanterns stitched. I got the table over here, this teapot, this little cup. This I think is also a teapot. This is the start of the Mad Hatter. This is his like chest and arms. So I got some good progress on it, but did not finish it. But it feels good to be stitching on it again. I am going to try and see if I can get a photo of the finished piece off the website to be able to show you. Because I think I had mentioned previously that I was really excited for this stitch along when I started it in the month that it started. This was obviously The Little Mermaid was the very first one. I had never done a mystery stitch along before, so I was kind of excited about that, the possibilities. But I couldn't really see where it was going, and I got busy and kind of lost interest. And then when I went back to check on it again later in the year, I could see that all of these sort of what appear to be, kind of amorphous little blobs, like why does this go up here and here, and why? All of these scenes come together in the shape of Cinderella's castle. Or maybe Sleeping Beauty's castle. I'd have to look more closely. Either way, one of the Disney castles, and it is stunning, the finished product, which got me motivated to pick this up again. So I'm going to see if I can do a screen grab or something off the website, and if I can, I will post it here so that you can see what the finished product looks like. If not, and you enjoy Disney and are sort of curious, would definitely encourage you to go to the website. I'll link it in the description box below and check it out because it's a pretty impressive finished piece, and I'm definitely motivated to finish it now. And I will share when I get to my August plans what my goal is. So that's all I have for whips. Haul, very little haul. I'm trying to rein myself in after kind of being a little crazy in June and July. So all I have to share actually, I forgot to take it out of the plastic, is my Bestitch Me Fabric of the Month. So I subscribe to Bestitch Me's Fabric of the Month Club. I get a 32 count Lagana, an 18 by 27 inch piece every month. I subscribe to her alternating months club. So one month I'll get her vibrant color piece of fabric. The next month I'll get her neutral fabric. So she dyes a vibrant and a neutral each month. You can subscribe to just one or the other or alternate. And I think she might even have, for obviously a higher price value, both. So this month the color is called Morning Fog. Let me flip it over this way. I will spare you me taking out of the plastic. But it is what you would expect. It's kind of a bluish gray. It's actually a little bit more blue, kind of almost like a turquoisey than it is gray, but the gray is definitely visible and prominent as well, and it's very pretty. So I do enjoy getting those fabrics each month. It's helped me build up a nice stash to be able to pull from. I'm thinking I might, so I started subscribing last December. And her price point is super reasonable. And I'm getting quite a buildup. I don't stitch enough, right? Fast enough, often enough. I think at some point I'm probably going to have to stop it just because, I mean, how much fabric does one person need? I mean, I know we all joke like we need all the things, right? But in reality, I only have so much space to store things as well. Plus there's so many other dyers out there. So I might play around and maybe stop that subscription and start a new one with a different dyer just to diversify my stash. But I really do love the feel of Brandy's fabrics. I really enjoy stitching on them. But anyway, so I'm digressing from my haul. My other piece of haul isn't really haul, but is something I'm really excited to share. So when I was at StitchCon in June, I was just walking around the tables and noticed someone had a floss winder that let her take her skeins and wind the floss and then snip them. And then she had her lengths ready to put on her floss drops and stitch. And I was like, well, that is super cool. And I asked her, where did you get that from? She said, I found it on Etsy. Just search for it. You'll find it. And when I got home, I went, well, my dad likes to tinker in his wood shop. Maybe he could make something. So he actually made me two. He made me a 9-inch long one, which then when you wind and cut gives you an 18-inch length of floss. And then I had him make me a 18-inch, I think is what it ended up being. So the 9-inch one that gives you the 18-inch lengths of floss is great for your overdyed flosses with variegation. But for like my DMC and things like that, I wanted one that would cut longer since I do loop start. So I wanted to share, this is the long, ooh, I am so sorry if you were wearing headphones. I'm sure I just broke your eardrums. I'm so sorry because I dropped it. So my dad made this for me. And so you would just wind your floss and then you have the little groove here to help guide your scissors to cut it. And so this is the one that I will use for my DMCs because then when I loop it over, I'll have the right length for my loop starts, which then leads me to my giveaway. My dad had extra pieces of wood and was playing around. So not of the longer ones. So these are the 9-inch ones. He made 3 extras. And so my thinking is, in recognition of the time my dad spent on these, my channel is at about 645 subscribers right now. When I get to 750 subscribers, so only about 100 more people, I'm going to do a giveaway for these. So if you have friends who watch but aren't subscribed, tell them to subscribe so that you can win one of these. That's my plan right now. I might change my mind, right? But right now that's my plan because I think it would be kind of fun to have 750 subscribers. So these are on the table. Tell your friends. All right. If you are still with me, thank you. I know this video is a little talk heavy and stitch light, but my last thing for today, I was just wanting to share my August plans. So in July, and I can share, right? So I use the Amplify planner and the monthly spread I use to keep track of my stitching and my floss tubes. And so this was I probably should add some pretty stickers or something to make it colorful, but That was what my July ended up looking like. You can see that last week of July, no stitching today, no stitching today, no stitching today. And then I was wrong. I wrote the wrong pattern here because I forgot to write it the day of. And I was like, oh, it's Monday, so I must have worked on When Witches Go Riding. But no, I worked on Jingle all the way. I did not work on it on the 24th. This is why I need to write it the day I do it and not try to fill it in later because I get it wrong. And so my plans in July were to like alternate days, working on my Christmases and my Magic Kingdom stitch along. That didn't happen. It just didn't. So I'm taking a different approach in August. And I have written up here where before I was just writing in the patterns that I worked on that month. And then I decided that's kind of redundant because like they're written on the monthly days. So I decided that I'm going to use these lines here for my goals. So, and that's my approach in August. I'm taking more of a goal, like an end goal approach to my plans for August rather than I'm going to stitch this number of days, which I suppose is a goal in of its own. But it wasn't so much a goal that I had last year. It was, I'm just going to alternate days. One day I'll work on this pattern and one day I'll work on this one. Decided I'm not going to do that this year, or this month, I mean. So in August, my probably overly ambitious goals are, I'm going to stitch my Primrose Cottage Stitches Firework Kisses pattern on August 4th. That was kind of where I was leaning, and then your comments definitely confirmed. Most people said, yeah, you should stitch that on the 4th of each month until it's done. And it's a pretty small pattern. I'll probably finish it, maybe even in September. If not, then almost certainly in October, even just stitching on the one day. So I'm going to stitch Firework Kisses on August 4th. My Tiny Modernist When Witches Go Riding stitch along, I decided that my Wednesdays, I'm calling them my Witchy Wednesdays. So that's the day that I'm going to work on When Witches Go Riding. I was going to do Witchy Wednesdays and the 10th and the 31st of August. However, the 10th and the 31st of August are both Wednesdays in August, ironically. So Witchy Wednesdays it is. That will be the project I work on Wednesdays in August, will be my When Witches Go Riding Sal. I'm going to get my Modern Folk Embroidery Pride stitch along back out. My goal for that is to get a page finish in August. I'm not that far away from it. The pattern itself is 4 pages, so if I can get a page finish, that'll put me in good stead, and then I'll figure out from there if I want to be really aggressive and try and get the last 3 pages finished in September, October, November, or break it up into like a 6-month thing. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Page finish on Modern Folk Embroidery Pride stitch along. I showed last week my start on the brand new Haunted Library stitch along. My goal in August is to finish the prologue, right, which is the grand staircase. It's essentially the border or the frame for this stitch along. The chapter 1 releases on August 26th, so kind of right at the end of the month. So my goal is to have the prologue stitched and finished really by August 26th, but if I don't finish until the end of August, that's fine too. But then then I'll be ready to stitch chapter 1 when it's released. For my Magic Kingdom stitch along, my goal is to finish Alice in Wonderland and then also finish Snow White, which was the next month. And then I also decided my Cats of Disney stitch along that I haven't shown in a little while, the one that I had restarted. So right, that was the one that I had restarted because I found the flaw in my fabric further down. And so I restarted it. I didn't get very far. I was moving fabric around, came upon my old piece of fabric, looked at it again, actually got a straight edge out and realized that that flaw in that fabric actually is outside my stitching area. It's probably inside like my margin, but I think I can figure something out with that. So I think I actually am going to go back to that original fabric rather than having to start completely over. Well, I already did start completely over from scratch, but I didn't get that far. So I could take those stitches out and have that other piece of fabric to use for something else and go back to my original fabric. All that to say, I decided to add on Finishing Tigger on the Cats of Disney stitch along, which all of his cross stitching is done already. It's just the back stitching I need to do and then his name. underneath. So that one will probably be a day of stitching, maybe a couple of sittings, since I don't get that much time in each sitting. So that's a lot. They're pretty ambitious goals. We'll see if I get them done. But I kind of like them because I am a bit of a moody stitcher. I think that was one of the reasons why I struggled with the I'm only going to work on these 2 patterns and I'm just going to alternate days until they're done. And then I'm going to throw in the When Witches Go Riding on, Mondays and on the 10th and the 31st. I'm a little bit more of a moody stitcher than that. I like a little bit more variety going on. So this is 6 different patterns. The Magic Kingdom Stitch Along has 2 goals. I figure that's enough variety, I hope, to keep me motivated, keep me moving. And I think the goals are of a sort where I'll make good progress on all of these too, right? If I meet all my goals, I'll be able to say at the end of the month, look, here's Alice in Wonderland done and Snow White done. Here's Tigger done. Here's a page finish. So I'm rambling at this point. So those are my goals. Firework Kisses on August 4th, Witchy Wednesdays for my Tiny Modernist When Witches Go Riding, page finish on the Pride Stitch Along, finish the prologue on Haunted Library, have it ready to go for the next release, and then finish Alice in Wonderland and Snow White on my Magic Kingdom Stitch Along, and finish Tigger on my Cats of Disney Stitch Along. So for someone who didn't even know what a stitch along was in 2021, I am now stitching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stitch alongs, actual stitch alongs. And then I have my Halloween Quaker Stitch Along with Bridget starting in September. Yay, fun stitching. So I'm excited for August. I'm excited for this different approach that I'm taking to my stitching. I think it'll help it'll make me feel a little less constrained, right? Really Wednesdays and August 4th are the only days that I'm this is what I'm stitching this day. Everything else I can pull out what I feel like working on that day. So I'm excited for that. And then it also gives me the freedom that if I don't want to stitch on any of those things, I can pull out something else. I can pull out Jingle All the Way, or I can, pull out some other pattern and work on it for a while, right? So, again, I could have done that in July too. It's not like there are cross-stitch police out there. I'm not going to get a slap on my wrist for not doing what I said I was going to do. But part of the game also is keeping ourselves motivated. So I'm excited for this. All right. I am truly rambling right now. So I will end things here as always. I'm so grateful for the time you choose to spend with me. I hope that all of you are well and that those you care about are well. Hug your loved ones. Happy stitching. Have a wonderful week. And I hope that you will if you are not a subscriber, I hope that you will subscribe and come back and visit again. Usually I have much more stitching to show. Well, maybe not much more, but more stitching to show than I did today. So if this is your first time here, fear not. Come back one more time. There'll be more to share. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you soon. Bye.